Hi everybody, Keisha here. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about getting stuck in a loop. This is something that can happen to me sometimes. I figure if it happens to me, it probably happens to somebody else. I'm of the opinion sometimes that we have absolutely no original experiences in life. I think that's true based on just how many of us relate to memes on a day-to-day basis. I don't know, like you'll see a meme of like you getting so angry because your belt loop gets stuck in the door when you're trying to exit and you're like rage quitting. But yeah, the loop pretty much. So sometimes I have a bunch of tasks that I've taken on, and that's fine. I like doing 10 billion things at once. It makes me feel busy and accomplished, and I just like having tasks to do that are structured in a way that helps me kind of constantly want to go to the next level. On the flip side, sometimes I can get stuck in this kind of like this thought process of, how it should be done. Maybe, I don't know. It's more so like I want everything to be so perfect that sometimes I won't start until I've exacted the plan and the structure in a way where everything can come together completely perfectly without any hindrance or issue. Like I need to plan for absolutely everything, and I need to have a plan B all the way to Z and back just to make sure I can execute it properly and efficiently. I'm wasting time. And sometimes I feel like, oh my gosh, well, there's no point in starting this if I don't know exactly how to execute it correctly. And sometimes I think that's true. Sometimes I think that's fair to do. There's nothing wrong with having a plan B all the way to Z and back. It's okay to be prepared. But sometimes what I have found that was helpful is actually just taking small steps every day consistently. And that kind of helps you get towards your goal. Because sometimes it's better to just work on it in general in very small steps rather than doing it all at once. I am kind of the person where I'm like, okay, I'm going to plan and then I'm going to execute and I'm going to do it all at once. And I really love doing that. I don't know why. I just enjoy feeling like I'm conquering this in this moment. I'm going to finish it all. It sounds very diabolical, but sometimes it is better to just be like, you know what? I'm going to do this in very small steps. And as you're doing it, you can kind of figure out more because you're gathering more information about how to execute it as you are going along. You're not always going to be able to just do everything all at once. And I think that's okay. Something that can make you feel a little bit like imposter syndrome, I guess they call it, where you feel like you're not as great as you are or you can be because you're not, hitting the ground running with the project that you are trying to complete. And that's not exactly the case. You don't need to be as hard on yourself. I can be. And I'll use an example, languages. So when I was I spent some time in a maximum security immigration detention center. I was contracted through a military detention center, so we shared with them and it was crazy. I was there for 7 months. Now, while I was there, I actually had to pick up Spanish again. Everybody was Spanish, everybody spoke Spanish, and that was fine because I liked Spanish and I had learned it before in middle school and took a class in high school, and it was fine. I just had to reestablish it in my mind because languages are like memory, and if you don't use it, you lose it. And I'm okay with that because once I've used something for a purpose, I put it aside until I need it again. It's like that. I feel like it's easy to pick back up and you do it when you need to, you know what I mean? So while I was there, I actually had picked up Spanish within the time frame about 2 weeks. I was in isolation for about 21 days, and that gave me a decent amount of time to get a Spanish dictionary and read through it. There was also a Spanish book that one of the other girls found in the trash. She was actually indigenous from another country, from Guatemala, and she found a Spanish workbook in the garbage, and we went through it. I went through the entire thing. She actually didn't speak Spanish until she came to the United States because she had her tribal language, which was very cool. But I learned Spanish very quickly because I was in the environment. I read through the book so I could take my project of information that I was acquiring and apply it in real time every single day. And I excelled that way. And then I also started teaching the Spanish immigrants English in Spanish so that I could better my Spanish and also better their English at the same time. It was a very mutually give and receive relationship, I guess you could say, that helped us both grow in the way that we needed to. I really loved that situation. Now, fast forward to a couple years later, I'm learning Russian again. I'm picking it back up. I learned once in high school. My dad was dating a girl who was Russian, and her English was not as great, so we learned a bit to speak with her, and I'm picking that up back now. Unfortunately, sometimes I think about the approach more than the action, and I'm like, okay, oh my gosh, well, how should I do this? I can do this, and this, and then if I put this together with this and do it at this time or in this way, then things are going to work out exactly the way I need it to. But I'm not in a situation where I'm around people every single day that actually speak Russian. So this is a lot harder for me at this point in time, because I can pick up stuff very quickly if I'm in the environment, because I'm using it in real time. It makes my plans of execution a lot easier, but I'm in a situation that's much different and more difficult, which is fine. You just have to learn to adjust and curtail the way that you do things. So I get stuck sometimes in that, like, okay, well, how am I gonna do this? Is it gonna work? And then you get very frustrated because you're like, I know I can do this, and I suck. In reality, you don't suck at all. You're very capable. It's just the fact that your environment is different, the circumstances of your learning is different, or the project that you're trying to complete, and you just have to find a different avenue to adjust yourself so that you can accomplish the same thing that you would have otherwise accomplished if you were in the actual environment. And of course, it will work a lot better if, for example, if we're using the example of languages, it will work a lot better if you're actually in the environment with people. But when you're not, you have to adjust. And this goes with every single thing that you're going to do in life. A lot of times we as people will say, okay, well, my environment sucks, so I can't do anything until I change the environment. Life will continue to give you the same problems over and over and over again in the exact same way, but different situations, until you learn to overcome the environment and still get done the things that you need to get done. And I've seen this over the course of my life and with other people as well. Life continues to challenge you. God continues to challenge you and allow you to go through things until you overcome it. Because He can't actually bless us, I don't think, with what He knows we're capable of having and being until we've shown that we are capable to receive it and utilize that in a mature, reasonable manner. With proper, skills like leadership, competence, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, whichever. So I just want to say, I guess for the solution, what I've found with learning Russian and even Mandarin right now, sometimes you just have to do it. The stress that you're going to accumulate during that time surrounding the event itself is because you're not taking action. The sooner you take action, the less stressed you're going to be, and you're actually going to feel good, because even though you're not making the same quick progress you usually would, and you're not excelling at the rate you would, you're still making movement in the right direction, and it's helping you recalculate how to take the approach every single time. So all I would say is, don't feel bad, don't feel like an imposter. You're definitely not. You're amazing, you're great. Just take small actions every single day until you get where you need to go and you're able to hit the ground running the way that you usually would. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. If you made it this far, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao.